Chanel Contos started a petition calling for better consent education in Australian schools after receiving thousands of sexual assault allegations from secondary students. She addressed Victoria's Parliament yesterday, encouraging the state to establish a new system for reporting incidents of assault. Chanel joins me now live from London. Appreciate your time this morning. Firstly, tell us, what changes do you think should be implemented?
So we need an informal reporting system that is online so that victims from the comfort of their own homes can give their statement. And then if they choose to make a formal complaint in the future, they can go in to make a formal complaint to a police station and then call on their historical complaint so that the evidence is there when it's fresh in their mind. Additionally, this means that you can report historic cases, and this can be used both for police intelligence and, more importantly, to reduce victim blaming in our society and normalise reporting sexual assault, as if perpetrators repeat offend, it can be picked up by the system.
Now, Chanel, this is something that you presented yesterday to Victorian Parliament in a briefing. How was it received?
I think it was received very well because David Southwick, who is the Shadow Minister for Police, gave me his public commitment to push for this system and said that he was going to encourage the Police Commissioner to get in touch with me so that we can work through it together and replicate Operation Vest that happened in New South Wales.
And you've started this petition and it's created really a massive change in society, and we're seeing people talking about this for the first time in a very long time. Are you surprised it's taken this long to get to this point?
I'm not surprised because it's the reality of our society that this goes unnoticed, and that's why it's continued to happen, because no one has spoken about it because it seems normal to us. But I'm so happy that for the first time, the voices of the youth of Australia are being heard, and women of Australia, and especially young girls. I think it's a pretty special moment in history. And although it's disappointing it has taken this long, we can still be really happy that it is happening now.
Now, you've done quite a lot of work even in New South Wales. You've helped police coordinate its response to sexual assault. Yesterday, Victoria's acting Premier didn't attend the briefing that you gave. Are you disappointed?
There will be another briefing held. The parties decided to hold briefings separately. So maybe they'll be at the next one, and there'll be other ones in future, or potentially I'll speak to them personally. But I mean, while it's disappointing that not everyone has made time out of their day to listen to the message of youth and women, I think there's still a lot of opportunity for us to be heard, and hopefully I'm just going to keep telling my message to everyone who will listen, who's in a position of power. So hopefully we will get there.
Absolutely. Now, yesterday we also saw a Respect at Work report handed down. One of the key findings was that sexual harassment is set to officially become grounds for dismissal under these changes. Is this an important step in the right direction?
This is definitely an important step in the right direction. And whilst it's great it's being discussed and acknowledged, the Respect at Work report, we need to ensure that our federal budget adequately reflects resources being pushed into this to make sure that things actually come out of it, not just discussions of being had. We need action items from it. But of course, it's a great step in the right direction. And again, disappointing it took this long to happen, but we're getting there.
Chanel, as I mentioned, you've done a lot of work so far. What's next for you?
There's a few things next. So in reference to the anonymous reporting, informal reporting software online that I want to push for in Victoria, I also want there to be an Australia-wide one, because there's no use if someone grows up in New South Wales and has historic cases against them and then repeat offends in their adult life when they live in Victoria. These systems need to be able to talk to each other. They need artificial intelligence to pick up in trends so we can see where problem areas are, problem ages, potentially problem schools. And we need to, adopt technology to enhance this process. We need policy reform. We need legislative reform. There is still so so much to go, because what we're trying to change now are the structural conditions of our society, and we're aiming for equity, not just equality.
Yeah, certainly a long way to go, but you're doing a terrific job. Chanel Contos, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.